Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Elena. I'm going to be showing you guys my palettes, and if you want, feel free to suggest any makeup tutorials, or like if you guys want to see a makeup tutorial on a specific palette, then let me know and I will do that for you guys. But yes, that's today's video. Okay, so I'm just going to be doing these in the orders that I got them. The first palette I've ever gotten is the Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar, and it's this palette right here. And it basically, I'm so sorry, mine is really really but these are the colors right here. I really liked Nougat and Peanut Butter and Caramel and Bonbon. I really like those shades in this palette. And basically that's this one right here, and then Caramel's right here, or no, Peanut Butter's right here, and then Caramel and Bonbon are these two shimmery shades. To be completely honest, I don't wear this palette anymore because of how chalky or how non-pigmented this palette is. Those are the only four shades that I ever use in this palette. Next palette is the Urban Decay Naked 3 palette, and it is this very pinkish palette. And honestly, I really like this palette a lot because I love the way that pink eyeshadows look on me specifically, so I really just enjoyed this palette, but I don't use it anymore. Honestly, I always just use the shade Limit, and then I also use Nooner, and I didn't really like the shimmery shades in this palette because it wasn't that pigmented. But overall, it's an okay palette. I don't really use it anymore, so I don't really know. Okay, so the next palette is the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, and this is one of my favorite palettes. It is just so good. You can create a lot of looks with this, and especially simple looks, especially because if you're a person who isn't into really out there makeup or out there looks, then this is a perfect palette if you just want an everyday bronzy look, or an everyday just basically if you want an everyday look, you can use this palette. Okay, so this is also another good one. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette, and mine is a little dirty. These are the shades right here, and oh my god, you guys, this is such a good palette. Just like the Too Faced Chocolate Bar original palette, this one is a must-have. Honestly, this is a really pretty palette. I mean, honestly, you can get really simple looks, but then you can also get a really pretty pinkish reddish look. Do you get what I mean? This is just such a warm palette, and I feel you can create so many warm looks with this, and honestly, I totally recommend this to anyone because it's such a good palette. Next palette I have is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, and my sister got this for me on Christmas last year. But this is also a good palette too. I haven't used it in a while, but I remember creating a really purple mauve-y look on this side with the purple shades, and then also the pink shades are good. You can get a really warm look with this palette too because there's some warm shades over here. And I really like this palette a lot because it has the shade Georgia. That's just a really really pretty pink. I feel Georgia and Summer Yum are perfect together when you just put Summer Yum in your crease, and then you put Georgia all over your lid, and then maybe you want something in the outer corners of your eye, you can just put Puree. Honestly, I also recommend this palette a lot, but I think my first tutorial on my YouTube channel is with this palette, and it's really good. Okay, so next palette is this one. I think it's this BH Cosmetics Essential Eyes 28 color eyeshadow palette. I thought this was a good palette because when I swatched it at the store at Urban Outfitters, I really thought I was gonna like this palette, but honestly, there isn't that I don't really know. I mean, to be honest, the swatches were really nice and stuff like that, but the way that they were applied to my eyes, I didn't really like it. But I haven't really played around with it or used it as much, so I can't really judge the whole palette. I don't like how it's applied with brushes, and you know what I mean? It just looks weird. It looks weird. I might start to use this palette a lot more. I just haven't been playing around with makeup as much, so. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty cheap. For 28 eyeshadows, I think this was $16, so that's why I bought it. But honestly, I don't really like this one, but I will use it a lot more because you know, I can't really judge it off because I've only like used it once and I didn't like it. Okay, so I have 2 tutorials on my YouTube channel. using the Colourpop. I don't remember the name of this palette, but yeah, I really like this palette a lot. I've never used like the Colourpop's like pressed eyeshadows, so like, or like, yeah, the pressed eyeshadows, right? And I really like this one, to be honest. This one is really good. I feel like you can come up with really just simple everyday looks with this, especially if you're into like warm colors. My favorite shade in this palette is, I forgot what this one is called. Oh, Running Late. It's this one right here. I think it's such a pretty transition shade. You can just put this in your crease and then go on from there. Last but not least, I use this in my Get Ready With Me for like the Bruno Mars concert and stuff. But yeah, this is the Tokyomilk and the Light eyeshadow palette, and it has 5 transformative shades, and this is how the palette looks like. I think I showed you guys this before, and in that Bruno Mars video I used Solar Soul and I applied it all over my lid, but I've been really wanting to try this palette out. I really have, and honestly I only got it because like this was such like a pretty like palette. I mean, it had like really pretty colors in it, but honestly it had my name on it. I don't know if you guys can see it. It says Elena, but that's like the only reason why I got it, like the only reason why I wanted it. Oh, and also if you guys never tried the cinnamon almond milk macchiato from Starbucks, it's so freaking good. So the next palette I wanted to talk about was this e.l.f. Seaside Sweetie palette, and it's this like, whoa, this blue like eyeshadow palette. I think I've used this in a tutorial before. I don't remember when, or maybe I just used it off of camera, but like honestly I really don't like this palette. Really quickly, I wanted to talk about this Super Shock shadow from Colourpop, and this is Flower Shop, and this is how it looks right here. Honestly I've only used this once, and it's just like this really like pretty, sorry my swatches suck, but it's just like this really pretty like greenish bluish like look. I mean, like it's really pretty. But so the next eyeshadow that I wanted to talk about was this NYX single eyeshadow in the shade Jaded, and honestly I've only tried this once, but like I said, it's just like a really like shimmery like eyeshadow. It's kind of like, it kind of looks like this one in Flower Shop by Colourpop. Even though they're not really similar, this one's kind of like darker, but I only used it once and I've never used it again. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the formula or anything. It's just, I just suck at applying makeup and my looks always turn out. But yeah, you guys, that is all my palettes and single eyeshadows that I have. But I really hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I will hopefully see all of you guys in my next video. Bye!